Republican Senator James Lankford says he and Democrat Gary Peters will continue to push federal prison leaders until proper changes are made.
I think Jesus lives in prison because it seems like so many people meet him while they're there. Great. I would tell you that the love of God pours out to individuals regardless of their past.
Senator Lankford believes the incarcerated can also discover God's love and transformative power when offered faith-based programs approved under the First Step Act. Tested and proven around the country, he's witnessed how they can drastically reduce the number of repeat offenders.
I talked to a young man that was in a program in a state prison, that he had a faith-based experience that was there. It's been dramatic for him and the turnaround in his life. He is now a person that's actually leading and is actually mentoring young people in that.
Lankford says we should be hearing more of these success stories, but that hasn't been the case.
Well, the Bureau of Prisons has failed to actually act on that. They're not allowing these different faith-based entities to actually get into the Federal Bureau of Prisons and to actually do these programs.
To change that, Lankford recently teamed up with Homeland Security Chairman Gary Peters. They wrote Bureau of Prisons Director Colette Peters, calling out discriminatory practices, citing how the implementation of recidivism reduction partnerships appears stagnant. The letter also pointing out that of the 8 faith-based applications received, the Bureau denied 5, only approved 2, and left the other pending.
She is the director there, and it is her responsibility to be able to make sure that there's equal opportunity provided. You should not have a situation where people of faith are literally blocked out of something, especially something as important as anti-recidivism.
The programs fall under the First Step Act, signed into law in 2018 by then-President Trump. It requires the Bureau to help incarcerated people obtain a valid form of ID, like a driver's license or Social Security card, and assist individuals applying for federal and state benefits. Plus, under the Act, wardens are encouraged to enter into recidivism-reducing partnerships with faith-based organizations and other nonprofits. Now, 6 years later, Lankford says the Bureau of Prisons has still not acted on FSA's requirement.
We don't want people that are in prison to end up in prison over and over and over again. If they can have life change while they're in prison and they end up reconnecting with their family, get a job, actually get into society, that's better for everybody. After I reached out to the Federal Bureau of Prisons about Senator Lankford's concerns, its spokesperson replied they only discuss matters directly with congressional members. Senator Lankford says he's already planned a follow-up meeting to ask them for next steps. Michelle London, CBN News, Washington.
Gordon, faith-based ministries in the prisons have done really impactful work over the decades.
Since the beginning of the prison system, faith-based, you visited me in prison is what Jesus asked his disciples to do 2,000 years ago. So here we are, and we have a Federal Bureau of Prisons that doesn't even want to talk to you, we only respond to Congress. Where's the transparency in that? Is there a bias? Why has it been so pronounced against faith-based? What's the point of that? A path to salvation in prison needs to be available. That's the whole point of the free exercise of religion. That's the whole point of our wonderful Bill of Rights. And if you don't have that right because you're now in prison, well, whatever happened to the Bill of Rights? I wasn't aware it got suspended. That freedom of religion doesn't exist in a prison. It should, and every prisoner should have access to faith resources. That should be the point. It should be the point of rehabilitation. And we've seen it again and again, these wonderful ministries like Prison Fellowship, just the story after story of changed lives and changed families and changed futures. Why wouldn't you want to have that? So call your representative, call your senator, and say, we need to find out about this. What's going on in our prison system where now Christianity is somehow banned? That should never happen in the United States.